Yes.
Okay, we should.
For these time and things.
Okay, so I think we are back on live. I believe we are. So we'll give this another go.
Okay.
We'll give this another go, guys. If you're still having problems hearing, don't worry. We'll pull it for tonight and we'll rearrange for a different day. It's not a problem. We'd rather have the sound and everything working, obviously, and rather have everybody struggling to try and hear what we're talking about. So what we'll do, we'll just wait a few minutes for people to come back in, because they're probably going to have to enter a new room. So we'll just wait for that. So what I'll do, I'll just put you on mute a moment, Paige, just while I just make sure the room's ready and everything. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Hey guys, sorry about this. Sorry about the technicalities. You know what it's like. Modern technology, it either works wonderfully or it doesn't. I think we've narrowed out the background noise. The sound's still a little bit choppy, so if you are having problems hearing, just say, and if it's too bad, we'll pull it and we can rearrange. Paige does have a different set of headphones, but she doesn't have them at the moment, so we can always rearrange it. I'd rather we don't all get stressed out about it, particularly Paige and what she's going through. So my sound's okay, but it was just something coming from Paige's end, but we understand it was just a pair of headphones, so hopefully we'll be able to hear her okay. Presumably I'm coming through okay. I don't think I've got any problems with my sound. Of course, don't forget this is cross channel call, so it may be a little bit imperfect. But the stream health seems okay. Doesn't seem to be buffering for me. I just saw someone mention it buffering. Is anyone else buffering? No buffering, that's good. But obviously we want to, give you all proper sound quality. We don't want you struggling to hear. So if we do have to pull the interview, we'll do that. And we'll just rearrange it. And we'll do some thorough testing before we come on again. So BZ Mum, I've heard you mention that a few times. Dying to know if it was Barry that you chatted with. I understand you spoke with a gentleman that you believe potentially, was it in Indiana, may have been Barry, and I know you were querying a particular vehicle that you're wondering what he had. Now, I don't know what vehicle Barry has. I don't know if our guest may or may not know, but there's been no mention of any vehicles yet, of course, that have been well, we know his vehicle was seized, but we don't know what vehicle that was, whether that was a work vehicle or his own. We don't know make or model or anything. Okay, Firefly's getting buffering as well. Could be a bad night then. Okay, so are you there, Paige?
Yes. Can y'all hear me okay?
Okay, I can hear you okay. Oh, I can hear myself as well. Have you got the volume down on your stream?
Okay. Oh, I don't have mine on. It's buffering my...
Just getting feedback from me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It seems to have gone now. No, it's gone.
Yeah, I cannot find it.
Yeah, you're fine.
There we go.
Okay, can everyone hear Paige much better now? That's the most important thing. Do you want to just tell us what the weather's like there today, Paige?
Yeah, it is 70 degrees, but it feels a lot hotter than that. the humidity is really bad today.
Yeah, humidity here is like, it's off the scale. It's about 25 to 30 degrees centigrade here. Very humid, but can't complain because we don't always get this amount of sun, so we're not complaining.
Right. I get over snow any day.
Oh yeah, I don't mind a bit of snow, but
I can go with it around Christmas, but after that, I'm good.
Okay, so we're getting half saying it sounds okay and half not. So we'll persevere. We'll give it 5-10 minutes, see how it is, and
okay.
We'll sort of make a decision from there. If people can hear it, if it's it's obviously not going to be perfect, but if people can hear it and hear what you're saying, that's the main thing.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, hopefully my child will get here soon with my really good earbuds.
Oh, okay. So potentially there's a hero on the way then.
Yes.
Okay. So as I was saying, for anyone who wasn't here earlier, our guest would like to keep her anonymity for this interview, which we fully respect, due to the sort of high attention this case is getting and the crazy amount of speculation online. So for tonight, she's going to be known as Paige. Okay, so do you just want to confirm your relationship with the Morphews, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So my mother is married to Barry's first cousin, but they were raised more like brothers.
Okay, so they're more like brothers than cousins.
Right. They grew up together, like really close, I believe. That's how Troy explained it to me. They're very old school mentality. A lot of people are going off Barry's demeanor. That's just who they are. They don't show emotion at all.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me. They're very much, like you say, old school.
Right.
An old school family.
Yeah.
And they're old school men that don't show their emotions, right?
Yeah, they were raised real men don't show emotion, they don't cry. Even when Troy's dad died, they didn't cry. So.
Well, okay, just the way they've been born and raised, I guess.
Right. They have their own way of dealing with things. So.
So whereabouts were they from originally, and where did they move to in Indiana?
They lived in Alexandria, in the middle between Anderson and Alex, and then they moved to Arcadia, and then now they're in Colorado.
And is Arcadia close to Alexandria?
I think it's like 30 to 40 minutes away. Don't quote me on that. It's not too far away.
Okay. And they moved to Colorado, was it in 2018? Is that right?
2018, 19, yes.
And
I think they were like starting to in 18 and then it became 19. So.
And do you know why they moved there, or you don't know that?
Do what?
Do you know why they decided to move to Colorado, or not?
Their daughter was going to school there, and they just wanted to start something new.
Okay, so kind of start anew,
right,
start somewhere fresh.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Barry was a huge outdoorsman. So was Susan. They love to spend their time out with nature.
Yeah, I think that shows very much. She was obviously a very keen, she's obviously a very keen cyclist.
Oh, yeah.
And Barry is sort of into his hunting and all that kind of stuff, and that's pretty clear, isn't it, from what we've seen so far. And they're also keen practicing Christians, are very much into religion and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes. With Susan beating cancer and all that, they believe it was a blessing from God. And that's just the crazy part about all this. She's went through all that, and then this happens. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's almost
So I know
That's
deep
cool.
down in my heart, if anyone can survive this, it's going to be her.
Yeah, she comes across as a very strong woman. Certainly, I mean, having survived
Right.
cancer twice, you've got to say
Mhm.
that, haven't you?
Right.
Um, Now, you sort of said to me earlier about Suzanne and Barry. They, although you don't, you kind of don't really know them, sort of on a
Right.
regular basis to meet them. They kind of have, used to buy Christmas presents and birthday presents for you
Mhm.
and your children and that kind of stuff, right?
Right. They just had huge hearts.
Very kind, generous people, I presume. I mean, I presume they were very much liked and loved by the community.
Oh, yes. They were a big part of the community.
And it was a small community, right?
Right. And um, there was some rumors about a cult or something like that. There's like nothing in that area. The only thing I can find in that area that is a spiritual camp. It's where like psychics and things go, but it has nothing to do with the Gaithers. I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, yeah, it's fair enough. There have been some talk about that. About
Right.
I think it's just one of those areas of speculation that people have thrown up. Were they into some kind of religious
Well,
cult?
yeah, I think everybody's just trying to make up their own stories in their heads because nobody knows what in the world's going on.
No, and and that's quite clear to me, and from having spoken to you, and I know
Right.
that a member of family did speak with Crime Online recently, and very much the family is almost as much in the dark, correct,
Mm-hmm.
as
Correct?
the kind of everyone else. Is that right?
Right. Yes. I believe Troy spoke to him briefly. Um, he didn't really say much, just checking on me, that kind of thing. No.
Sorry, can you just repeat that? We just lost you for a second.
I said, so my mom's husband and them, they spoke, and but he was really short. They didn't have a long conversation about anything.
Okay,
Barry and my mom's husband.
so I suppose he's in a very difficult situation, though, is he? He's going to.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult to gauge, probably from speaking to him, what's going through his mind. I would imagine at the moment.
Right. I just, I just feel bad for him and the girls. So bad.
Yeah, I mean, you were getting quite emotional earlier when we were speaking, weren't you?
So I had to gather my, yeah.
And I
It
think,
just, yeah.
yeah, I think that just goes to show, how much these kind of cases affect, the family and friends. It's easy for people to jump on Facebook and what have you, and speculate left, right, and centre. But sometimes they don't really kind of appreciate the people that are at the heart of the case, and people that are directly affected
Right.
by it. And as I was saying earlier, when there was that crazy speculation that went around last week, I was kind of speaking to you about it, wasn't I? And you didn't know if it was true,
Right.
and you were quite affected by that. I do remember you being.
Oh, yeah. I was pretty upset, but I was more worried about the family, the daughters, and all that. And God forbid if they found out and they thought, "Oh my God!" Like what I don't think people thought about. I thought about was what if they would have thought, "Oh my God, my dad did this, my mom did this. So I don't want to live no more," and they kill themselves. Stuff like that could happen, and I don't think people think about all that before they put those kind of rumors out there.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's people of course are gonna suspect or speculate the husband. Of course they are, naturally. But I just think people have just got to put a bit of a lid on it until you actually know solid,
Right.
solid evidence.
And I understand. Right. I understand some of but what happened last week was way too much, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before in a
Right.
true crime case online, for something to be put out there like that that's so grossly incorrect. I mean, it was quite shocking, to be fair, to be blunt about it. It was extremely poor taste and extreme lack of judgment by people
Right.
to do that. So, but that's what
That's
it's
why
like. Crazy
I
world.
appreciate you. you have been 100% honest with me and upfront, and I appreciate that.
That's okay. That's how we, that's how we like to do things. And because I know that you have sort of been sort of chased by media, you've been offered quite a few things by
Right.
certain. They've managed to
Yeah,
track you down, right?
right. And honestly, I wish I had nothing like, oh God, I don't understand why people make up like their family or whatever. Because if I could run a billion, away from this, I would.
Yeah. I bet you never.
And I was so nervous at first talking because, this isn't nothing thought I would ever do in a million years.
No. Who thought they would ever end up in a situation like this?
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, we're just saying the media have been quite relentless. They've managed to track down your phone number and everything, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which just
my
shows
mom
you.
even. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you carry on.
My mom said that there was like a couple strange vehicles that she's never saw before in her area. They went down, like, she kind of lives at, it's like a side street. I don't know. And it kind of goes, and you can turn around and go back. She said they just kept going up and down the road. So,
okay. Whereabouts was this?
When was this? It was just a few days ago.
And whereabouts is this near your
in Anderson?
In Anderson.
In Anderson, which is right by Ellick. Yeah, we're kind of like sandwiched in between.
And did you say there's been some police presence around their old property?
Yes.
And that's interesting.
I don't know if maybe they were just trying to find out some information from other people, or, it was by their house, but you never know. It could have been a totally separate case, but I doubt it. Let's be honest,
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Right.
Now, of course, we know Barry had his phone seized, and that's been a bit of the problem, isn't it? Is why he's not been able to communicate with his family. Some of his family have flown out. He's staying nearby, right, at a friend's house or relative's house?
Right, at a friend. A friend of the family has a vacation home there, and that's where he was staying.
Okay, but obviously he's been kind of cut off from everybody because he's had his phone seized. You know if he's got that back yet, or?
I do not know. I'm sorry. I can find out and let you know as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's okay. It's been hard for everyone, I think, because of the lack of information that's come out. I mean, we spoke earlier, and I can't remember a case being this sort of tight, or the law enforcement being this tight-lipped about a case. But I don't know. It's almost like they know something, but they're not prepared to tell everybody else what they know.
That's what I'm wondering too. It's
whether they're building a case against somebody or something like that. I honestly don't know, but it's a strange situation. I think that's why everybody is speculating as much as they are.
Well, see, someone else was also talking to my mom about it and said, when there's like a high profile case and somebody got kidnapped, maybe they're keeping that all under wraps because they don't want that information getting back to the kidnappers. I don't know if that's 100% true. That's just what someone had told my mother. So
yeah,
I'm just putting that out there, which kind of makes sense.
It does. It is a possibility. I think everything is an open possibility at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. I pray to God she just ran off and she's in Jamaica with a Zachary and some good-looking guy beside her. I mean, that's what I would hope. But
and can you just clear up Are you able just to clear up the situation with the girls, because people have sort of they're one's living at could you clear that up?
Yes, one's in college, and then the other one is at home. They would not allow her to live with a boyfriend at 16. No way.
So that was just incorrect speculation.
Yeah, and that was right. Because I said something to my mom's husband about it. I was like, that is so freaking weird and not like them, not the way I've met them a couple times, but like you guys have talked about him. He's like, oh, whatever. Well, 2 weeks ago, that wasn't like that. So unless it happened overnight, which I highly doubt.
Okay, so since a couple of weeks ago, one was living at college, and
Right.
And the younger daughter, 16, is living at home, right?
Right.
However, she was on a camping trip at the time this happened.
That's what I heard. Right.
And that's sort of fact, is it? Or that's pretty much as much as you know.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I believe it was a youth church that their youth group. It's like a retreat type thing.
Okay.
That they do once a year, I believe, but don't.
Now, one thing we just mentioned before is back in Indiana, they would often employ people that were kind of hard up for money. Is that right, to do work around their house?
Correct. Like if somebody tells so-and-so needs, to make a little bit of money, they would go ahead and find something to do to help that person out.
So that could be something like house maintenance or gardening or anything like that, could it?
Right. My brother had gotten laid off, and my mom was telling me when they found out, we got some work to do. So I just thought that was really cool.
So they sound very generous and positive people, and that also opens up another possibility. I mean, that could they possibly have had somebody working there? Would you think, or looking after something?
That is something that's went over my mind more than once, to be honest with you, because they trust, like we all do.
So they're very trusting.
We all want to wish the best in people. We don't want to think the worst,
So they could well have had somebody working there that we don't know about, or law enforcement haven't mentioned. I guess that's a possibility. Now, there's a lot of grey areas as well, isn't there, about the exact time and date that Suzanne kind of disappeared, and whether she did actually go on a bike ride. But I guess you're pretty much in the same situation as everybody else regarding that.
Right.
You've not had any confirmation of... Do you know if they did find her bike?
No, I haven't.
No.
I was told that they did.
You were told they did find her bike?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Because that was mentioned early on, that they had found it.
Yeah, it was propped up against a tree.
Yeah, and that was on Mother's Day, I believe, that they found that.
I can ask my mom and get back to you on that.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be... it'd be useful if that could be confirmed, because law enforcement certainly don't seem to have made that definitive anyway. They've kind of left it out in the air like everything else.
And you would think law enforcement would know that everybody's just spinning the story. So you would think they would tell something to kind of ease everyone down, but that's why it's making more and more sense to me about the whole ransom kidnapping thing.
It's definitely a possibility. Now, you've heard and you confirmed to me that Barry has taken a polygraph. Is that correct? And has passed a polygraph?
I had heard that it was out there twice, but I only know once, and he did pass. I don't know about 2 times, but I heard about once.
You heard it once. Of course, we don't know what questions they would have asked.
Right. We don't know.
I mean, presumably there would be questions
involving
his possible involvement. Obviously, you think so, but I mean, if he has passed this polygraph, I mean, obviously it doesn't stand up in the court of law, but in terms of the investigation, it's certainly very strong evidence if he has.
Right.
Now, I've got a picture here. Now, I believe that you have seen it. Now, This was I picked up in one of the Facebook groups the other day, and I've spoken to the person that posted it. They seem legitimate. Look, obviously you can't be 100%, but I don't know why they would make this up, to be honest. But you should be able to see it on the screen now. Now this was somebody that worked in I'm not sure exactly what it was, near Salida anyway, in the town. I think they were either a shop or business owner, and they claimed that on the Tuesday after Suzanne went disappearing, disappeared, that Barry came into her work around about 6:30, between 6:30 and 7 p.m. They were closed, but he obviously got their attention, and he was asking if they had seen Suzanne. They said that he looked sort of a bit scruffy and distraught, which I guess somebody would in his situation, and he left this note, which, I mean, I'm kind of showing it not just for your benefit but for everyone in chat as well, so I don't know if everybody has seen it, but it basically says baby blue bike helmet, biking, clothing. I guess you can't really read too much into that though. You would expect maybe something like that if somebody was frantic, and some people have said, why didn't he give a full description of Suzanne? But I guess given if he was panicking and distraught, then that you would expect maybe.
We can never say what.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just saying we can never say how we're going to do until we walk a mile in those shoes. You never know how you're going to act unless that happens to you.
No, that's absolutely right. So I don't think there's anything really can be read into that note, to be perfectly honest. As I say, we believe it to be legitimate. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be. But it just seems like someone who's in a panic and they're trying to, just raise awareness and get people's attention, basically.
Agree.
Now, one other thing was, there's no basement in their house, right? You can confirm that as well, can you?
Yes, there's not. Now, there's kind of like I guess, I don't know, I've never heard it called like a basement, but kind of like a back porch type thing that kind of goes down, but it's not a basement. I don't know how to explain it. Do you know like a sunroom maybe? Is that the best way to explain it?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't think that's the exact name for it, but it's something like that, like an alcove or something.
Because one of our team did, the wonderful Kimberly in our team, she did get the actual, I don't know what you call it, but the house plan, and it does state on there, it's a little bit blurry this picture, I don't know if you can see, but it does say total basement area 0. So I think we're pretty certain that there is no basement in that property, because that was just one of the things that was thrown out there, with that crazy speculation last week that something had happened in the basement. And when I heard that, I immediately thought, because I remember you telling me there is no basement, so I thought that was a bit odd to hear that.
Yeah, I don't understand so many stories, and I felt so bad for that poor girl last week, the supposedly mistress. Oh.
Yeah, that was awful. That was.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why all of us are terrified to even talk, because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that backs up your whole wanting to remain anonymous, really, isn't it?
Right.
Why are you going to come out? Yeah, why are you going to come out and give your name if you know that hundreds of people are going to hunt you down on Facebook and social media and what have you, and start harassing you for comments and interviews and all that kind of stuff? I mean, we see it all the time. We see it all the time in these high-profile cases. Okay, now, so how's your mum and your stepdad coping? As I say, so your stepdad's Barry's cousin, but they're more like brothers, right? How
They're
are
doing
they
bad.
coping?
They're doing okay. I'm trying to take it one day at a time. My mom's husband doesn't really, like I said, they don't show emotions, so he doesn't want to talk about it. He's kind of just shutting it off right now, I believe.
So
He's, I don't. Yeah, it's hard to. It's really, really hard to tell their emotions. Like I said, they're kind of like a wall, and that's what a lot of people saw in that video of it. But that's just how they are.
So you think the way that Barry kind of come across in his plea, that's just kind of the way he is. He doesn't find it easy to show emotion.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, because you imagine, like, I wouldn't believe 100% that he is innocent. But like I told you, God forbid if he wasn't, we would all wash our hands right away. We'd be, or what's right is right and wrong is wrong. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, sure. I think most people can respect that. So, you're very much a loyal family and you have each other's backs. But, God forbid,
right.
If say Barry has done something, then obviously you're not all going to be shaking hands with him and sending him Christmas cards, right?
No way.
But of course,
my mom's husband said, God forbid if he would have something to do with it. He's like, the cops better get to me before I do. That was his exact words.
Really? That was his cousin?
Yeah. That was his exact words.
Oh, his exact words?
Yeah.
Wow. So I imagine it must be a horrible time for the whole family, just wanting to believe with everything.
Fighting on our nose.
Yeah. Wanting to believe with everything that, this great man that you've known, this great family man, he's looked after Suzanne, his daughters, your kids, is not this person that may have done something horrible to his wife. It must be a horrible situation to be in.
Like I said, it makes you wonder, do you really even know a person? Mm-hmm. God forbid if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing.
And of course, from his perspective, which I hope he is absolutely totally innocent of anything. If he is, he's got to listen to all of this kind of finger pointing at him. And I suppose to a degree, you've got to expect it. I'm trying to put myself in his position. I would expect people to be pointing fingers at me, but it doesn't make it any easier to listen to.
Right.
So it's just a horrible situation all round, I think. And I just hope that law enforcement at some point soon, I don't know, just give people an idea of where this case is going, because we don't know. Nobody knows.
Exactly. You guys almost know about everything we know. There's a couple of things I cannot talk about, which isn't nothing for, but
yeah.
But you guys know almost everything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, like you say, that there's a couple of things we've talked about which we're not going to mention on here.
Right.
Just because we don't want people to go crazy, and start.
I probably shouldn't even said that, but it's nothing big. Let me put it that way. Sorry. It's more about their.
Yeah, I think it's just protecting people from being harassed, basically.
I just wanted everybody to know that they don't. Yeah, we don't know anything that they don't. That's all I was trying to get out.
Yeah. Okay, do you think there's anything that I may have missed, or there's anything that you'd like to share just about your...
Did everybody remember talking about the Gaithers and all that?
Oh yeah, so there was some sort of speculation that they may have been involved in a cult, which I've looked into, and knowing the local area, Alexandria area, you think that's all just myth and stuff like that. You don't think they were in any kind of crazy cult or anything like that.
No, there's a what is it called? I call it the Texas thing, but the Spirit Camp or something like that. But that's in Chesterfield, which is about 15 minutes away, 10-15 from Ellick. And I think it's been closed for a couple of years, honestly, but I'm not 100% sure. But then the Gaithers, that's what we were talking about. They live in Ellick, that's totally two different situations. And yeah, I couldn't find anything about it.
No. So I know people have
And I've asked
speculated about.
people that that live in Chesterfield and all that, and they're like, no, I've never heard of that before. So.
No. I mean, yeah, they're heavily religious.
Right.
But, it doesn't mean to say they're into some kind of crazy cult. I think maybe people have picked up on, there's another case at the moment, Laurie Vallow case, where...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're in some kind of crazy doomsday cult, right? I think maybe people are, thinking possibly this could be something similar. But
right.
As far as you understand, it's nothing like that.
No. And then also, I think another thing, if you look at Chesterfield, Indiana, I think that place, that camp shows up maybe. And maybe people were like, oh, God, thinking, just made their own little conclusion maybe.
Mm-hmm. I think, so. Yeah, people certainly like to make their own conclusions. Right. I think we've discovered that. Did we go over that? As they were kind of high school sweethearts, weren't they? They've known each other since very young, and obviously they've been married for over 25 years.
Right.
But you've always known that your family and stuff have always known them as a very loving, generous family, right?
Right. Of course, they would have their own little spats, like any married couple does. If you say you don't, then you don't have a real marriage. My opinion. I believe marriage is about going through crap and working it and building it back up together. So.
Yeah, I think that's normal for any married couple that may have minor issues and what have you. I don't think there's anything.
No, as long as you get over it and then learn from it and move on.
Mm-hmm. So have you heard anything about them moving back into the family home? Because of course they seem to have released the home back to the family, haven't they?
Yes, I heard that they did, but I don't know if they're staying there or any of that.
Okay, so you don't know if they're back in there or anything yet?
Correct.
Okay, and I don't know if they have actually officially released it as of today or yesterday or whenever it was they put the statement out. I don't know whether they said it was from immediate effect. Because, of course, the worry was that, when we saw the crime scene and everything going into the house, then, of course, everyone was worried that, obviously, the house is a crime scene and something's happened at the house. But maybe that may not be the case. It may be procedure. They may have just been documenting stuff that belonged to Suzanne and, starting from the house and working outwards. That's always a possibility. But but it must have been worrying when you knew that they were going through the house, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It was, yeah. And then when they were digging at the other spot they were at, it's just, makes you wonder what is going on,
Mm. And, of course, he's quite an experienced outdoor person, isn't he? In landscaping and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, he went on big game hunts and things like that.
Yeah. Do you know why they moved to Colorado? You don't know why they sort of up to move?
I believe it was about the daughter, and they both love the outdoors, and
So it's mainly for the daughter's benefits then, really, maybe schooling.
Right. And honestly, God, there's nothing here in Indiana. I'll be honest with you. Indiana is like a dark hole. There's not a lot of opportunities here in this area, I shall say.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a wonderful place. It looks like where they live now. It looks absolutely beautiful place. But but very remote.
Secluded.
Sorry, say that again.
I said I just would never picture them being that secluded. Like, maybe they wanted a different change,
Yeah, that's true, because they sound like very outgoing people, and it sounds like they like to be involved with other people and be very communal, if you like. So, yeah, I guess it's strange they've removed such a sort of remote area.
Right. If my mom said she believes the reason they moved there is they went to vacation there before and they stayed in that same exact house, and then they just fell in love with it, so they offered to buy it. That's what my mom was believing.
Ah, really?
How she understood it.
Okay. Well, that's news. We've not heard that before. I mean, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, just don't quote me 100% on that, but that's how she took it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that certainly makes sense. As I say, it's a beautiful area out there.
Right.
It is, like you say, it is very remote though. You know, if Suzanne was on her own, which we believe she was at that time, because obviously Barry was out of town and the daughters were on a camping trip. So yeah, it's a very remote area for a woman to be on her own. Because and the neighbours are quite far away, aren't they? It's you know, the houses are very wide apart.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty. Right. I have never been there, so I can't, but it looks far apart. Yes.
And can you just confirm what you heard about why Barry was out of town? Because there's a little bit of conflicting information about that.
Okay, what I've been told was they had a training date set up, and then with the COVID stuff, it got canceled. So, but the training had to be done by a certain date or something. I forget exactly the whole thing. So that's why it was on Mother's Day weekend.
Okay.
Because it had to be done by a certain, you have deadlines to finish training. The fires are starting back up, so they have to.
Yeah, do it by a certain date.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because there's been, and I still don't think it's been cleared up, because I think initially the story was put out that Barry went to work in Denver, and then that kind of got changed to he went to firefighter training.
That's what Uncle Bob said, which is their uncle. He says that he had some kind of training that he had to get done. So.
Okay, and it could have been possibly training that he paid for himself, possibly.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he was kind of that type of person that went above and beyond.
So it wouldn't necessarily be known to all of his fire friends, if you like. Potentially, they might not have known that he had paid for this training,
right,
and gone training.
Exactly.
And would that have been open during the? I mean, some people are going to say, would they have had that during the COVID situation? Would they have had training?
Yeah. I mean, well, I kind of got a lot of things kind of about that time that he did go. It kind of slowed down and they opened things up slowly, if you noticed, around that time. Well, it's here in Indiana, I will say.
Yeah. I think that's gonna.
I think that was when they had open restaurants and.
I think that's going to remain a bit of a grey area until we sort of get a definitive answer on that.
Right.
To be honest, but it's just like a lot of other things that are surrounding this case. We just don't know sort of 100% what's true and what's not, because when they initially put the information out, of course they said that Suzanne had been cycling and she had a kind of greeny turquoisey colour cycle helmet on, but then we later heard that they said that she probably didn't go for the bike ride, so it's left us all in complete confusion.
Oh, very much so. And then also something about the security cameras. I haven't heard anything about that, but I mean, if that is true, that is makes you wonder. But I have not been confirmed that yes or no.
No, I've heard that. Like you, I don't know where that's come from. It's like so many other things. You read something and then you try and trace back where that's come from, and it doesn't really go anywhere.
Right.
So, how much credence we give to some of what we know, I don't know. Right. So much has been made up, I think, as it's gone along. there's probably some truth in some of it, but not all of it.
Mhm. Right.
So I guess,
Yeah.
you know, you and your mum and your stepdad and everything all just are waiting really then to hear more and to hear. I mean, is your stepdad sort of waiting to hear directly from Barry? Would he expect a call at some point soon, or?
Right.
He would be.
Right.
Jeez.
Sorry, I was sidetracked with the chat. Sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying, just basically waiting to hear. Then everybody's just waiting to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows anything. We're all praying and hoping for the best.
And as far as you know, law enforcement have not given family any further information than what we know already.
Right.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because people sometimes assume that, you know, family and everything know a lot more, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Do you know what vehicle Barry had at all?
I believe it was an SUV. I think he had like a Yukon or something like that here, but I don't know about there.
Oh, right, okay. So that would have been a few years ago.
Right.
What colour was it? Do you know?
Like a creamish color.
Okay.
Creamish yellow.
So like an SUV. And what make did you say?
Yeah. Like a Denali, Yukon, something like that.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not great with people. Sorry.
That's okay. It's just we've got someone on her channel, and she thinks she may have met Barry at some point.
Oh wow.
Or spoke with him. I think she was just waiting to hear what vehicle he had. So I don't know whether that's helped her or not, but she thinks she may have spoken to him. It seems to me that, I mean, we know Barry used to play bass, but it seems like they would have been quite a well-known couple in their area. A lot of people would have known them. And
yeah, they were very outgoing.
Yeah, outgoing, certainly through their church. They seemed very kind, very generous people. And they probably enjoyed being part of a small community where everyone knew them and likewise. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. But like you say, they uprooted to go to Colorado mainly for the kids. You know, mainly to give them a nice place to grow up and, you know, a nice location for them, I guess. Schooling, probably a nice school nearby. And as you say, one lived at home and one was living away.
Right. Yeah, Oh, then can I also send you something about that John guy?
Oh yeah, so
is that okay?
Yeah, this was.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
oh.
I mean, so this is I think his name's John Schmidt, isn't it? The John Schmidt guy.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, something like that.
This is the guy that supposedly met Barry. How many years ago was it? Did he say? It's when they worked.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
A couple of years ago, working on a job.
Right.
And Barry sort of got in a bit of a scuffle with him, and
correct.
You know, it just seemed this John guy sort of tried to paint Barry as some kind of psychotic, you know, evil person.
Right.
Just sort of say what you found out a little bit about this sort of guy, John guy.
Right. I don't know. It's just
So you'd heard that he sort of maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So what they call him is Know-It-All John. I know somebody that had actually done a job was on the same job site as him, and said, "Please watch. Excuse my language, but said that he was a coffee prick,
right.
And he'd like to push people's buttons to get a rise out of them. So they could get kicked off that job site, and he could have his buddies get it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find kind of amusing is he's running for mayor again. So this is the perfect time to go on national TV to try to get your story out there and spin it the way you want, because you have charges on you now. My opinion, of course, but it just kind of seems convenient to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it gives another side to the story, which I think is only fair.
Right.
You know, I mean, I probably had I don't know, pushing a shove with somebody years ago, but you know,
Right.
2 years later come out and say, you know, oh, you could see evil in his eyes and all this kind of stuff. I think that's going a bit. I just think that's going a bit far. I just think that's a little bit far fetched.
Oh, and by the way, I'm running for mayor.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's running for mayor, like you say, and
Yeah.
it's almost been like a personal agenda thing. It's almost like he's clearly done that to
Right.
try and, you know, put Barry in a bad light for whatever reason. Obviously doesn't like him, or so I just think it's a little bit weak and a bit daft, to be honest. But
Mm-hmm.
like you say, maybe he just wanted his 5 minutes of fame on YouTube or whatever. So, but I
Right.
really don't read much into that.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, have you ever seen this? Because they work in India around, you know, with Harmble and all that. And they grab their phone and they look real close. They're like, that's Know-It-All John. And I was like, what? So, yeah.
But when someone's got a name like Know-It-All John, you probably
Yeah. Like, yeah, I just remember there was no name on there, nothing. All they seen was the face. Yeah. I thought that was pretty telling to me.
Yeah, I mean, someone in chat's just saying that John rubbed them up the wrong way. I obviously listened to the interview on the other creators channel. They just said something about his story was overindulgent. I think probably a lot of people would agree. Really, it was. I don't know. I just don't quite know why he did that. Really.
Right. Honestly, if I hadn't got like a report with you, I wouldn't even came on. You know, I wish I was nothing to do with this case. You know, or do anybody involved.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't. Yeah, you don't really want to be here.
No, I don't. You know, yeah.
Talking about
really
it.
Nervous.
Yeah, you don't want it happening. You know, sort of from our point of view, obviously, you know, we always do, and people know what our channel is about. We do look out for, you know, the victims and their families. We're not ones to sensationalize or grab a story and want to, you know, get a load of views on YouTube or whatever. We do genuinely look out for people. I hope you sort of seen that from speaking with me, and you can see from our channel,
right?
You know, that's what we're about.
Right. You have a new sub, by the way. So.
Oh, thank you.
You're
welcome. But obviously, it does help. You know, if we can put information out there that puts to bed some of the stupid speculation, then obviously that helps as well. So.
Right. That's why, yeah, I was kind of telling, you know, I filled you out, and I realized I could probably trust you, you know. So, like I said, you seem really relaxed and chill. I appreciate that. So.
That's okay. Yeah, it's pretty much what you see, what you get with me. So, you know, this is me. I'm not any different at any point. So,
right. It's too short to be fake, my opinion.
Yeah, I think you've got to get people's respect and, you know,
exactly.
get them to trust you. So, I mean, hopefully we can help to put, you know, as things go along. Maybe we'll, you know, you'll be able to help us, and we can help.
Yeah, if I get any info, I will let you know.
Yeah, and we can sort of put to bed some.
As long as it won't interfere with the case, let me put that out there.
Yes,
but,
absolutely. Yeah,
if there is a case.
Yeah, we're not here to, you know, we're not here to interfere with the case. We're not here to try and get a scoop on any information or anything like that. You know, we're basically just looking after you. You know, looking after your best interests, and at the same time, like I say, trying to put any information out there that's actual fact, and we'll put to bed some of the speculation. So,
yeah, and I appreciate that. Yeah. Honestly, I do.
Because you've had quite a rough ride, haven't you, the family, with all the speculation and everything. It's been insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, my phone was going off all hours of the night when I was just like, oh, my Lanta. It's just. And then I just kept thinking in my head, those poor girls, like, God forbid, if they think their mom's gone now because this from their dad did it, what happens? You know, they're dumb. If they're like, I don't want to without my parents, and how would those people felt if, God forbid, that would happen? I don't think some of them would have cared.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of our thoughts really are with the girls. I mean, God forbid if the worst story came true, then that those poor girls, that would just be absolutely devastating for them. But I mean, even now they must be absolutely distraught. I mean, to think your mum's out there somewhere and you've no idea where she is or where she's gone, it must just be absolutely soul destroying. I honestly can't imagine. And
we all know the longer time is, the less chance,
Mhm. Yeah. And the picture I get is that the family are kind of, because everyone's saying nobody's saying anything, the family aren't saying anything, something's not right. I think part of me thinks that maybe they are just hiding away from the media.
Right.
I know Barry's got a lawyer. He's probably been advised as well to stay away from the media because of the frenzy and how much attention this case has got.
And they'll twist and turn your words to fit their narrative.
Yeah, so I think they're probably maybe steering clear of that, and that's maybe why people aren't hearing anything. And I can totally understand that, because like you were saying, your phone's been blowing up. You can only imagine what the daughters and Barry's phone would have been like, because they're like hounds, the media, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they don't give up. I'm telling you, they're like sharks looking for blood. I mean, it's just.
Are they still trying to contact you? Are you still getting?
No, thank goodness. I finally had enough and said I was contacting my attorney, and I did, and he messaged them and said leave her alone, and I haven't heard anything else.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good then.
It was one. I think it was like 2 people that worked together going back and forth. Those were the ones that were bothering me the most. The other people, when I told them, they left me alone. But
yeah.
I'm not going to mention names, but
must be so hard because obviously people want to put a story out, but then you're trying to deal with the whole situation, your family situation, aren't you? So
right, and this is one of the people that put the horrible information out there. I'm like, so you're gonna put horrible information out there, God forbid, then you're going to try to, it just made no sense. Try to get us to talk to you? Right. No.
Not going to happen.
Right.
Okay, so...
I think anybody that... Oh, sorry.
No, you carry on.
Sorry, it broke up. I think anyone that is a YouTuber or news or anything, they should have a responsibility of fact-checking before they put that kind of stuff out there.
Definitely.
As fact. They should say opinion or, whatever. But they sold it as facts, and that's why it blew up the way. So.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems to me that there's also been, I don't know why people are doing it on Facebook and stuff. They're trying to steer, like you said, a certain narrative.
Right.
A lot of people painting Barry as the bad guy, and they've almost convicted him already. Do you know what I mean? Without any solid kind of evidence, which I just think is unfair. And they'll throw back at you, well, statistically it's normally the husband, and it's like, okay, well, what about the small percentage that aren't? Where it's not the husband. You just don't know. You just do not know. In this kind of case, the way it sits right now, the possibilities are very open, and we don't know until we know more facts. We don't know.
Right.
So I think it's a bit unfair too, the way that some people paint it anyway. But Facebook's ruthless. Facebook is really, really ruthless.
Right, it is. It's like, I don't know. It's just insane.
Okay, I don't know if you just want to end up maybe just take a couple of are you happy to take a couple of questions?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to go ahead and look?
In the chat, if you just want to have a look, just pick a couple out. Obviously, you don't have to answer any, it's entirely up to you what you say. I understand, there's certain things we've talked about we're not going to mention on here, so...
Right. And I hope everybody understands that.
I'm sure they will.
One trying to find, sorry.
That's okay. So if anyone wants to ask
Oh,
Paige a
the
question,
polygraph. Yes, it is supposed to be 100% true that he did take a polygraph and passed it. 1, but not 2.
do you know who was the last person to see Suzanne or not?
I believe she had talked, like not actually saw her, but spoke to one of her daughters the night before.
The night before.
Right, that's what I've been told, but I'm not 100% for sure. I want to make sure whatever I say, if it's fact, I'll say it's fact, but if it's not, I'm not gonna,
And how is the family holding up? I think
Are you there?
Yeah. How's the family holding up? How's your mum and your stepdad?
They're just trying to hold it together and just wow, kind of like in shock with everyone else. More worried about the girls, like we all are. So, and how this is going to affect them,
Yeah, well, your heart's in the right place. It's quite, it's telling you're thinking of the girls. Because for them, it's got to be an absolutely awful situation for them at the moment.
Right. A friend of mine had sent me a screenshot where in one of the groups somebody was talking and said, well, maybe the daughters had something to do with it. Oh, my Lanta, really, people? Yes, things like that happen, but yeah.
I think you said you took yourself out of Facebook groups, didn't you? Because it was getting a bit...
Yeah, yes. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, Facebook is...
Because it's hard for you not to want to snap on a few people,
Yeah, Facebook's crazy.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Someone said something about, supposedly Suzanne was, I don't even want to put this out there, but doing horrible things to the girls, and that's why, but that is not true.
No.
It just sounds like a made-up fable to me.
Yeah. I mean, people say, because they're not getting any information, that's why they're speculating, which is fair enough, but I think people have just got to do it tastefully and not, not get too ridiculous or not put anything harmful out there. I think that's the difference.
Correct, Matt. There's not many facts in this case. You are correct.
But there was, must say, there was a lot of love for your family, and a couple of the Facebook groups that I'm still in, they wanted to pass on sort of their thoughts and sort of love for your family. They send their love and everything.
We appreciate all that, all the prayers and positive vibes and everything. We appreciate it more than you guys know.
Yeah. And I reiterate that from our channel. Obviously, we're always here. For you if you want to chat to me or anyone on the channel, if you want to comment or anyone. We understand the situation you're in, so right. We want to be here as a support for you as well as just having information, obviously.
I kind of did it to you the other day, and I appreciate that. It was just frustrated with all the BS.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's because sometimes someone will say something and you probably think, is that true? And
right, exactly.
Yeah, it must be difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just gets your brain just to spinning like.
And you said the other night you had trouble sleeping, didn't you? Because everything was just going around in your head.
Yeah, I could not stop, and it was like I wasn't worried about me. I was more worried about the poor girls. I give 2 craps about anyone else. I'm just worried about those 2 girls. How this is affecting them.
Yeah, still so young. I mean, the youngest is 16.
Yeah. Right. Yes, I just want to go be a mama bear and just hold them and protect them from this. It's just
Full.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we probably pretty much covered everything we wanted to for the moment. I really appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you putting trust in our channel.
Yes, I
think you find we got a great group here, so I hope you find yourself in safe hands.
Yeah. Right.
And hopefully we can. Oh well, of course we'll stay in touch. And
yes.
Hopefully maybe at some point soon, if we know any further information and what have you, you can always come on again.
Yeah, maybe I can talk to my mom. I can't make any promises. Maybe I can have her come on with me. I know her husband won't. That's way out of the question. Like I said, they're very private people, but my mom, I can maybe be able to sweet talk her.
Okay, no, there's no pressure at all. It's entirely up to
that'd be like we find more out, when there's more information.
Yeah. I think it's, like you were saying, you really don't know much more than anyone else, to be perfectly honest. Obviously you've been able to fill us in a few things, questions about the family and stuff like that, and where they used to come from. But regarding the case, obviously everything's just in complete lockdown at the moment, and they haven't told you anything. They haven't told your mum or stepdad anything.
Right.
So we just wait and see, and just keep praying for Suzanne, that that she may hopefully she's still out there somewhere, right? And she's safe somewhere. Don't know where, but until we know any different, I think you've just got
Try not to cover.
Pardon? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I had to clear my thoughts for a second.
That's okay. It must be your mind must be spinning and spinning.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll let you go so you can sort of gather yourself. Thanks ever so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Everyone in chat really appreciates it.
I'm sorry, I was nervous.
That's okay. I get nervous every single time I come on, and I've been on loads of times. It's
Yeah, I thought my words a little jumbled up, but I was like, first time I've ever had to do something like this.
Yeah, honestly, don't worry about it. I'm sure everyone in chat will, give you a lot of love and support. Let's just say thanks again.
I appreciate that.
That's okay. Thanks again for coming on. Send our regards, to the family, and I'll obviously stay in touch with you, and see how things develop, and like I say, we may well speak again on the channel, see how things go.
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks again, Paige. Take care.
You all too, and I will let you guys know if I hear anything else out. And thank you for all the love and thoughts and prayers.
No problem. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, there you go, guys. That was Paige. I'm sure you can understand and respect her wanting to, remain anonymous, and there's certain information that obviously she knows, but we don't really feel it's suitable to put out at this time. It's not involving what's happening in the case. We don't know. We still don't know. It's still a very sensitive situation, of course. There's still a massive speculation going around, and we don't want to get too involved in all of that. Speculating's fine, but if you cross the line of it potentially harm someone, then I don't think it's really okay, to be honest. If it could potentially hurt someone, I understand people are always going to look at the husband, of course they are, but I think you can do it with a little bit of decorum, without getting too crazy. And YouTube's not too bad. Facebook's terrible. It's absolutely insane on Facebook, but you do find out information on there you wouldn't find out anywhere else, so it's kind of a mixed blessing, really. But thanks ever so much for joining us. Sorry about the sound problems that we had earlier. Hopefully you could hear that okay. I know that Zoom's being probably inundated with people using it at the moment, of course, with everyone working from home. Great business for Zoom. Thanks to everyone in chat. Thanks to Kimberly and Firefly and True Helper for looking after you guys. Thank you to the new members as well. That's very much appreciated. Thank you to the existing members as well. It's very much appreciated. As I say, if we know any more information, if I hear anything else, you'll be the first to know, you guys. And we'll see how the case develops. But in the meantime, let's just keep praying for Suzanne, praying that this story is going to end in a happy ending, because we just don't know. So all we can do is remain hopeful, isn't it? Let's just hope we hear some good news soon. But enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thanks again for coming, and thank you ever so much to Paige for joining us. And we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.